Hey, what's up, everybody? Back again with a new video and my co-host Dusty.
Yo,
So today we're gonna react to five unsolved mysteries and unexplained events from Nuke Top Five. So let's get this going.
all right.
The top 5 unsolved mysteries. Mysterious visitor. Before we get to all the murder and mayhem in this list, here's an unsolved mystery
Jesus.
that simply fits into the extremely creepy category. So, for several nights in a row, a Reddit user gets repeated alerts from his door motion sensor that movement has been detected. However, every time he checks the notification images, there's nothing there. So he just assumes it's a neighborhood pet setting off the detector, or perhaps a malfunction. Finally, after the third night, the man checks his alert and finds this disturbing picture
Oy.
from his front door. A strange late night visitor who appears to be wearing an odd mask. Even
That's weird.
creepier, notice the times on the alerts. They occur around midnight, then again a full 4 to 5 hours later, around 4 a.m. So, who was this person, and why was he hanging around outside the man's home all night long, seemingly in a mask? The Reddit user reports that after this picture, the mysterious visitor never returned again.
Huh. So his thing just kept going off and nothing was there, and then one day there was somebody in a mask. And then
Right.
it never
What he's
happened
saying,
again.
yeah.
I don't know, that's kind of, I don't know. I mean, it's not really mysterious. More like some asshole bugging you.
Yeah, just messing around, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's freaky. Like I said, I'd rather have ghosts than people to deal with.
Yeah.
The head in the woods. In Economy, Pennsylvania, a teenager is strolling through the woods when he makes a grisly discovery: the dismembered head of an old woman.
Oy.
But that's not where the weirdness stops, because when police investigate, they find that the head has been fully embalmed by someone. Not only that, but the eyes have been removed and replaced by rubber balls. Police artists compose sketches and even circulate pictures of a 3D sculpture of the woman's head, but no leads are ever found to the woman's identity or where the head came from. 1 year later, the investigation is stopped due to lack of evidence. Pennsylvania authorities buried the head in an unmarked grave in the local cemetery. To this day, no one knows who the woman is or what happened to her body.
Huh. That's kind of sad.
That's a. I mean, there's a lot of stories like that though. There's a lot of unsolved mysteries.
Of just like, but like,
Yeah,
I'm assuming
people
she
just
was already
getting killed.
dead and embalmed, and then someone cut her head off and then just threw it into the woods. I mean, that's weird.
Pretty much, yeah. Very weird, yeah.
It's just sad they never figured out who it belonged to. I mean,
Yeah, it's like if you watch that show, Unsolved Mysteries, you know that show. There's like over 10 seasons. There's a shit of freaking like unsolved mysteries that make you think. You know what I mean? Like what the heck? That's so strange.
yeah.
I used to like
Unsolved
that show a
Mysteries
lot. I
is the
mean,
one with like the really crazy beat, right? The detective beat or
ye-
whatever. The dinner,
yeah,
dinner,
yeah,
dinner, 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 dinner.
yeah. Basically, yeah. There's a lot of like some of them are dumb stories, but there's some ones that are like, wow, that's fucking trippy. Like, you've seen it, right? That show before?
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a couple of them. I know they do a lot of different mysteries though, don't they? Don't they do like some ghosts? They do some aliens, and then they do like more like actual
I
like
don't know, but
like who killed this person? Like he was in a
what it,
locked house and he got shot in the head, and there's no forced entry, and whatever. All
yeah,
the doors and windows are locked.
the ones that are ghosts are pretty good. The aliens are okay, but the ones that I always like are the just like the unsolved, like people getting killed, and like it's like a mystery because like she gets in a car, never to be seen, but then it's like they tell you like the times and like certain things don't match up, and it's like
Right? Yeah.
so I don't know. I like those.
Yeah, they're interesting. I like them. But yeah, that's a sad story, but it's all right. It is
But
definitely unsolved
BC
mystery.
Beach Feet.
Right.
On February 9th, 2016, a family was walking along Botanical Beach in British Columbia, Canada. They find a shoe washed up on the shore.
Huh.
Nothing strange about that, except that the shoe still has a severed human foot inside. But it gets even...
I don't know why. That reminds me of God, Scary Movie 1 when they like hit the
Uh-huh.
guy in the road, and it's like, I found a boot, and the guy screams at him, "Where's the foot?"
What scary movie was that one?
Scary Movie 1. They were like
Oh, okay.
making
I
fun
don't
of
remember it.
I Know What You Did Last Summer, I think.
Oh, I know what you did last summer. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
hit the fisherman or whatever, and then he's like, "Hey, I'm fine. It's okay. Accidents happen." And they're like, "We're gonna have to
Right.
cut the body up." And he's like, "No, really, I'm okay. Like, just keep going about your business."
Yeah,
And
it's
that shit
funny.
cracked me up. He's like, "I found a boot." And he's like, "Where's their foot?" Oh, that was so hilarious. I don't know. For some reason, when he said that, like the way he said it was like he was laughing at himself. He's like, "They found a shoe. That's no problem, right? On the beach, except it had a severed foot inside of it."
stranger
That's
than
just
that,
funny.
because this is the 13th human foot to wash up on the beach of British Columbia in the past 10 years.
Oh,
Theories about the origin
that
of the
got
feet
dark
run from
really
murdered bodies
quick.
dumped into the ocean to suicides and deaths at sea. But no one is quite sure on the exact explanation or why the British Columbia beach in particular seems to attract these grisly discoveries.
The Canadian Mafia.
Morgellons
Wasn't it?
disease.
I felt like there's just so many unsolved things in this world, like that. I'm gonna say thousands and thousands of,
Oh yeah, I mean, like, what is
it's
it, like hundreds of thousands of people go missing every year. All these people get murdered every year. No one knows what happened, and it,
it's crazy.
it's weird too because it's like when you watch, whatever, like the news or you watch TV, it's like, oh yeah, this guy thought he was
Hmm.
gonna get away with murder, and then they found him, and it's like, but the reality is they hardly ever find anybody.
I
Like
felt like,
you would think
uh,
like the cops are. I mean, I'm not blaming the cops for it, but when you watch movies, you watch TV shows and stuff like that, you think it's like, oh yeah, cut and dry. It was the boyfriend that killed her.
I
It
felt
always
like
is.
when there's like a murder that happens in the city, I feel like it's easier to get solved from my perspective. If I was a cop, and I felt like if it's somewhere like in a desert of like in the jungle somewhere, I feel like it's harder to solve, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
No, I mean you're probably right, but
Especially,
I want to say the weird part is I feel like I think more crime goes on in the city that goes unsolved, but maybe
yeah.
like more like murders that happen that have like more story behind them. Like more like I'm assuming the more convoluted the story, you know, the likely they're gonna dig deeper.
I heard that supposedly too, like before there was that DNA testing thing, it was super hard, like
Oh
really
yeah,
hard. A lot
yeah,
of unsolved cases will go unsolved before that. But once the DNA, that was like a breakthrough when it came to like,
oh yeah,
helping cops and you know what I mean. I
yeah.
don't know if
Like
this is true though.
I was gonna say, they
But
opened up like a shit ton of like cold cases just because they had DNA evidence, but they couldn't do anything with it. They didn't have the
yeah, the
technology.
technology.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Um, uh, there's a lot of. I was gonna say something, but fuck, I'll come back to it after because I can't
my bad. I
remember.
didn't
I
mean to
went
interrupt you.
blank. Yeah.
Morgellons
But,
disease is a very rare and controversial illness. Sufferers report the strange sensation of what feels like bugs crawling under their skin. Other symptoms include chronic fatigue, skin sores, and oddest of all, threads or fibers that actually appear underneath the skin. In 2012, the US Center for Disease Control said that they believed that Morgellons wasn't an actual physical disease at all, but was simply a mental illness. They suggested that the fibers were likely lint that had gotten into exposed wounds. However, tens of thousands of Morgellons disease sufferers, including singer Joni Mitchell, insist that the disease is very real. On websites and help forums, sufferers post very compelling photos of the strange fibers that they say appear under their skin. Lab analysis of some of the Morgellon fibers defy all description.
Whatever the cause, there is something strange about the fibers. Forensic scientist Ron Pogue at the Tulsa Police Crime Lab checked a Morgellon sample against the 100,000 known fibers in the FBI's national database.
No match at all. So this is some strange stuff.
Not cotton, not linen, not any known natural or synthetic fiber.
But despite reported cases of the illness dating back at least 16 years, Morgellons disease has never been officially recognized or classified as either a physical or mental illness.
Okay, that's nightmare fuel.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before. But I'll tell you this: the only thing that's happened to me personally, and this happened a lot of times over the years. I would wake up with scratches. I didn't have dogs at the time, or cats or anything. But for whatever reason, I could have like three scratches here, two scratches, and then I'm gonna think sometimes like those movies where like, oh, if you're scratched three times, it's like a demon or something.
Yeah.
But it's happened to me like when I was probably like 9, then it happened again when I was 15, then it happened again when I was like 25, and like that. You know what I mean?
Huh.
Just randomly. But that's the only thing that's ever happened. And you
Yeah,
probably will say, oh, maybe I scratched myself maybe when I was sleeping.
could be.
Possible. Like that's a possibility. But I don't know. It's happened over the years. Is that anything like that ever happened to you or not really?
I
Anything
mean, I've woken up with like, like a bruise on
rash?
my arm or some shit like that, and it's like the only thing I can think of is either I did something the day before and didn't realize I hurt myself, or like I did it in the middle of the night or something. But I mean, at the time,
Hmm.
I never thought, like, oh yeah, a ghost came in and freaking hit me. But yeah,
Right.
I mean, I think weird things have happened like that to me too. I mean, obviously you get the other weird stuff where you like wake up and your neck's hurting or something just because you slept wrong.
Right.
But no,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever woken up with like scratches or anything like that. Not that I could think of.
Yeah, that's happened to me. Yeah.
Hmm, interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine just constantly like I don't know coughing up weird
One
fibers.
one thing that I noticed I haven't had it like maybe over I'm gonna say maybe more than 80 years. Um, I would get rashes.
Hmm.
So let's say I eat something, I would have like rashes, you know.
Oh, it usually means you're allergic
But
to it.
yeah, but lately I haven't had any reactions like that honestly for years.
Well, sometimes it's like it happens when you're a kid, and when you get older, you kind of like either get immune to it, or you kind of just kind of outgrow that whatever that
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 right,
histamine reaction or whatever
right,
to it.
right.
Yeah,
Because I told you right a story where my aunt lives. I told you right or no?
I
Did
don't
I
know.
tell you about? Okay, so where my aunt lives in Pasadena, she has a tree. Ever since I was a kid, all the way to like I'm gonna say 18.
Hmm.
Every time I would be near that tree, I will start getting rashes right here, like on my eyes, and they would get all like red, super red,
Huh.
right? After 18, 25, and until now, I don't get no more reactions. I could walk into that tree now and I don't feel anything. So it's kind of weird how your immune system, like you said, it kind of grows like or it learns to like you know what I mean, to not find it
Yeah.
as a threat. You know what I mean? Which is
Hmm.
I don't know if you ever had a reaction like that, but
When I
but
was a kid, I think I had reactions to like wool
okay.
and
Oh yeah. I think you were telling me about that, and that's
yeah, like and
a while back.
and it sucked too because I had I had like a really cool like cowboy poncho.
Yeah, and you would
And it
like to
was
wear it, right? You were
yeah, I
telling
like
me
to wear it all
or
the
something.
time.
Yeah.
But then as I'm wearing it, I would slowly start getting more and more itchier. And so
Hmm.
it just got to a point where I was like, okay, like my body was turning bright red because obviously I was having some sort of like allergic reaction to the
Hmm.
wool, but I loved it though.
Also, I notice also perfumes. Think sometimes like if the scent is like strong
mhm.
in a certain way, it makes me keep sneezing to it. And then there's other perfumes that could be strong and I don't feel anything. So I feel like some that also could, it's kind
You
of
know,
weird how your body is.
what's weird? There are some perfumes where like the base of the perfume is actually like some kind of animal urine.
Oh,
Yeah. So I don't
weird.
know. Maybe you have some kind of weird allergic reaction to animal urine or something like that. But I'm
Yeah.
kind of the same way, but it's a little different. It's I'm not like allergic to perfumes or anything like that, but yeah, strong perfume smells. Like I can
Mm-hmm.
actually feel like my nose start to shut down.
The
Like
heck?
that's the reaction I get. Like I'll smell it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh yeah, it smells nice, and then I keep smelling it, and then next thing I know,
Hmm.
like I just go nose blind. Like I can't smell
Oh
anything
wow.
afterwards.
Right. Right. Right.
And then like later on, I'll usually have to like take something, or I have to sit there and try to like blow my nose, try to open up my nose again, because then I can't breathe. Like my nose like literally like shuts down and I can't breathe anymore.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that's why I don't wear any kind of colognes or anything like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks because I stink. 4,000 Mile Death Punch. All right, let's watch this last one. See how it goes.
4,000-mile death punch. On July 5th, 1996, in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada, a 31-year-old man named
What's all this crazy stuff going on in Canada?
I don't know.
Dead grandmas, people's feet. This
Blair
guy.
Adams suddenly leaves his job, removes all of his cash from his bank accounts, and begins one of the strangest escape attempts of all time. I say escape attempt because Blair Adams had repeatedly claimed to friends that someone was trying to kill him and that he had to get out of town immediately. First, Blair Adams tries to cross the border into the US, but he's turned away by suspicious border guards. Next, he buys a one-way ticket to Frankfurt, Germany, leaving the next day. But apparently Adams is too afraid to wait for his flight to Germany, so instead he once again tries to cross the US border. This time, he succeeds. Adams then drives nearly 500 miles to Seattle, where he purchases another plane ticket and flies across the US to Washington, D.C. From Washington, he then drives another 500 miles to Knoxville, Tennessee. In total, Blair Adams has now traveled nearly 4,000 miles from his home in Canada. In Knoxville, Adams checks into a hotel room. Now, so far, this just sounds like the crazed trip of a delusional man. But this is where things get really strange. At 7:37 p.m., Adams leaves his hotel room. The next day, Blair Adams is found dead in a parking lot a half a mile from his hotel room. He has been violently stripped from the waist down.
Huh?
Oddly, the thousands of dollars in cash that he was
Hmm.
carrying is not missing, but instead is scattered all around his dead body. Weirdest of all, Blair Adams' cause of death is determined to be one single massive blow to the stomach. Pathologists say he received a single punch, kick, or unknown impact to his midsection that was so powerful that it actually ruptured his stomach. The strange
Damn.
case
Oh.
of Blair Adams is still unsolved.
I was gonna say his right foot was missing, and they found a bunch of hair in his mouth. Yeah, I don't know.
you know, I don't know. Looking at all these, it also reminds me of the Zodiac. Still to this day, nobody knows who the Zodiac is.
Yeah, did we ever
That's
watch like a
crazy.
weird update to that or nothing? Because we watched the movie. Did we ever watch something
Uh-huh.
afterwards that was like
Not
more
really.
recent?
No, no,
Hmm.
not really.
Do you know any
I don't
information
know.
up there on that?
Not really. Just that they think it's that guy. But nobody can confirm. It's kind of like, going back to other cases. It's kind of like the Tupac and the Biggie. That's still unsolved. Like nobody really freaking knows. They're just like, oh yeah, we know it's that guy, but we can't confirm.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
so
I mean,
freaking funny.
obviously now I'm hoping it kind of comes out in the trial that like P Diddy killed everybody.
Yeah, I feel like he definitely has some role for sure. That's what some people saying. Yeah,
Okay,
in the
I'm
past.
gonna say this last thing about it, and then maybe we'll close out. But my opinion was Biggie was the big dog. He was in charge.
Mm.
Puffy Combs was just like his side dude or his hype man or whatever. But
Right.
then now I talk to people and they're like, "Oh no, yeah, Sean was like the man. He was the one that put Biggie out there. He was the one that made Biggie famous." And I'm like, "What?" Like, I feel like that's my own Mandela effect going on because I always
Okay.
remember as Biggie being the
Big
main
dog.
guy, the spotlight. Yeah, he was in charge of their whatever, their little clique, their little music clique or whatever. But then I talk to people nowadays and they're like, "Oh no, yeah, it was all Puffy. It was all Puff Daddy. It was all him. He financed
Yeah.
everything. He pushed everything. He had the money. He had the backing. He had all stuff." I'm like, that is like news to me, man.
I felt like Biggie, like you said, he was the big dog, but I feel like um Diddy, he was kind of like the one you didn't expect, the one, you know what I mean? Like hidden. He was very hidden and very private,
Right.
until
But
now that everything's coming out, you know what I mean?
yeah, and it just trips me out that everyone's like, "Oh yeah, no, yeah, it was always Sean. He was always like in on it. He was always the guy." It's like I'm like, "What?" I would never have thought that in a million years, and that was like never my
Now,
that was like never my thought process about it.
now growing up, did you like his music or not really?
Who's?
Uh, Either Biggie or Diddy or Tupac or.
I mean, yeah, I mean I liked all of them, but I mean I didn't know there was all this crazy like East Coast West Coast beef, and I didn't know they killed each other, and then they didn't kill each other, and then it's a big mystery, and then whatever. Tupac's still
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah, have you heard that theory that supposedly he's alive in an island or some shit like that?
Yeah, like he's still making albums and stuff like that too. It's like what?
That's
I
one thing
think
that's crazy about. Huh?
go ahead.
You know what's crazy is that it's funny that to this day there's always like songs popping out,
Hmm.
and somehow have you noticed that theory? Like, and it's kind of weird because people are like, "Oh, you could do remixes," but they're really good remixes. You know what I mean? To the point
Yeah.
they sound legit.
Well, that was
And
it was Dave Chappelle, right? Made fun of it, where
I don't
like
remember that.
Tupac is rapping and he's talking about stuff that's happening like today.
Yeah,
And
no, that's what I'm saying. It's
yeah,
weird. It's so weird. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like it's so weird.
yeah.
But yeah.
All
But
right.
anyways,
Yeah.
good
Thank you
video.
guys for joining us. We've been the Eerie Cast. Please like and subscribe. And that was
Okay.
5 unsolved mysteries and unexplained events. I wonder, like, this video is really old. I wonder if by now half of them are already explainable or have been solved.
To be honest, I feel like a lot of these are still unsolved. Like nobody gives a shit about this kid here. Like who's gonna solve this?
Yeah, who knows?
It's not like a big case. Even Biggie and Tupac, which is like a big thing.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Catch you on the
All right,
next one.
later, later, everyone.